Take 12 if you want the run uncut. Yeah. Unapologetic from the jump. Yeah. And no politics in this club. Just dirt from the streets and the cleats in the mud. Take 12. Best podcast for the Seahawks. #1 sports talk. Yeah, we got it on live. Take 12. Every episode 12 hot takes. And we reppin' for Seattle, my place. Take 12.
It's the Take 12 podcast. I'm Brett. He's Lofa. That's producer Katie. Welcome to the show. Coming to you live from the Wiener Schnitzel Digital Studios, 2 locations in Western Washington. Check them out in Everett or Fife. Big red and yellow building. You can't miss it. Full of delicious hot dogs and burgers and ice cream. Go on in, mention the Take 12 podcast, get a free small soda with any other purchase, and let them know that we sent you. It's Wiener Schnitzel, everybody. It's playoff week, everybody. Playoffs?
Hell yeah.
Playoffs? Yes. Our Seahawks are playoff bound. A lot of people did not think that it would happen. Nobody on this show.
You're full of shit.
Nobody I know around here would have doubted this Seahawks.
Yeah, maybe in LA in that apartment studio, but we can go back. And I said we had a chance. Now, I'm not saying I guaranteed playoffs, but I said very beginning, but probably it was preseason, I said I was cautiously optimistic about a 9-8 finish. And here we are.
There we are. I think I loudly proclaimed that we'd win about 4 games. And
you and everybody else.
Takes a big man to admit when he's wrong.
Oh, speaking of wrong, I think I was wrong about stats for our man. Canine. I think I said, because I was reading one of our amazing listeners, I think it was my mom, shout out to Mama T.
Mama T
said that Canine did go over 1,000. I think I read off from Monday's show, the stats were not updated. So
I see.
So I'm apologizing to our listeners and Canine for false information, fake news.
Yeah, I think he did break 1,000, which of course this rookie season is just
while missing time too.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Which is insane.
But he does get the extra game now, right? This is how many years have we been doing the extra game?
Is this the second
year of it? Yeah. So there you go. But anyway, yep. Thanks for the correction. But it is playoff week, my friend.
Playoffs, baby.
We're taking on Santa Clara down in Santa Clara. We'll have tickets, by the way, that we'll be giving away here on the show. So if you guys want to email us and let us know that you'll be down in Santa Clara and you want to go to the game, hit us up at seahawkspod@gmail.com. Let us know, and we'll put everybody's name in a hat and draw out a winner. Thank you to epicseats.com for furnishing those seats. But yeah, Lofa, I mean, you want to just start with your general thoughts on this one? I mean, we're taking on the #1 seed. It's not going to be easy, but it's the 3rd shot at these guys this year.
It's hard to beat a team 3 times in one season. And so a lot of familiarity with these teams, both sides. But yeah, it's a tough draw. It really is for the first postseason game. But again, no one thought we would be here. So, it's like we're playing with house money right now.
Yeah, man. Didn't you guys try to beat the Rams 3 times in one season? Were you there for that one? No. There was a season.
It was 2004, the year before I got here.
Okay.
The Rams beat us 3 times and then 2 times in the regular season. Then they came up here at Quest and they beat us in the first round of playoffs.
Yeah. Not a fun year. No, let's not have a repeat of that one.
I don't remember it because I wasn't here.
All right. Yeah, good.
And then
that means neither was Pete Carroll, so that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. And then the next 6 years, next 12 games, we were 11-1. Is that good?
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Well, hopefully we can go, let's see, 1-2 against Santa Clara this year, with this one being the 1, obviously. Scheduling. Talk to me about the scheduling of this game. What is with the NFL? They messed with us last weekend, and now they put us on a Saturday.
Yeah. Fucking NFL, man. Like, first they flip, Green Bay to prime time, give the Green Bay Packers, a win and they're in at home on prime time. Luckily it didn't happen. And then, so we get the late game, one of the later games, and then we get the first Saturday game. Like, come on, man. They hit us.
Also, what's up? Seahawks Niners, that's a prime time matchup all day long, going back generations.
Yes.
Not exactly, but at least like a decade or so. It's going to be fireworks in this game. All the moments in playoffs past between these two teams. The network should have been chomping at the bit to put this one in prime time. I cannot believe this is a Saturday day game.
Super sus, as my kid says.
I agree. Who is that? Which one?
Kane.
Okay. I agree with him. But anyway, we're going to take them on Saturday. How are we going to beat them?
Man, I think the thing that sticks out the most is, they're on a roll right now. I think they've won their last 10. That's quite a streak. I remember my rookie year, we won 11, and then we ended up in the Super Bowl because we were so hot. We were on fire. So the ball is the most important part of this game. We must win the turnover battle if we want a shot, because this defense is playing out of their mind. They're stacked, and we can't give them any more opportunities on offense. So, and they are getting healthy too. They didn't have Kittle for our first matchup, didn't have Debo for our second matchup. Now they have all the weapons, but they do have a rookie quarterback, and I know he's 5-0 or 6-0, whatever he is, to finish the season. But this is playoffs, and the level, the intensity, the atmosphere, it is insane. And so we'll see how he holds up, when in the bright lights.
Yeah. Well, they were able to get after Baker last week, a bunch of quarterback hits, a couple sacks, our guy Bruce getting in there 1.5 times, and so do you see them being able to get to Purdy?
Well, that's a big point of emphasis, is our pass rush must come to life like they have. I think we finished top 10, like 6 or 7 for sacks on the year with 47 or something like that. And but we have to be able to get pressure without blitzing. And we've been able to do that. But we didn't. I think we had 1 sack or only a couple pressures of Purdy last time when we were at home. And so pass rush has to be on fire like it has been the past couple games.
Well, they got weapons, like you mentioned. Debo, I see Debo in my nightmares.
Everyone does, buddy.
Really, it just does everything out there. And he's so strong. He's so physical. He's everything that you would want if he's on your team, of course, but yeah, he's on the other team. And then, like you said, Kittle, Bosa, rested for practice, but he'll probably be ready to go. Right. And McCaffrey, they make a big trade for him. They are stacked up over there. But like you said, 10 wins in a row, I'm thinking they're due for a loss. Maybe it's just the optimistic Seahawks fan in me talking right now, a little midweek, but I'm feeling actually pretty good about this one. Like you said, trying to beat someone 3 times is hard. I know we're on the road, but it's going to be raining. It's going to be wet. It's going to be cold. That can be an equalizer sometimes. And we've been playing good ball as of late. And I think, some of the sort of miscues or like ways we get off schedule in some of these other games, like the Rams or whatever. This is the playoffs. We are going to be ready to go. There's not going to be anyone who's not ready to go. Right. And I don't know, man, I'm looking forward to this one. I really am. I think our offense can find some things. I think Geno can find some things against their defense, especially down the field. And we got to go down the field. DK needs more targets.
No, absolutely. And, in the last matchup, we got to get the run game going. We really do, because if you're not balanced on offense, this defense and Bosa and all those guys will tee off on the pass rush. And so got to do some. Like I said, I wanted to see a little more screens. Last game. Even if they're not like getting the 20 and 30 chunk yardage that you really want out of a screen, like surprising catching a defense offside. They're so fast off the ball. That front four that, just to slow them down, just to have it in their mind, like, oh man, like that last one gashed us. So like the screen game on top of the run game, it's kind of like, a compliment to it. And any quick game to start, just get the ball out and make these big boys chase the ball.
Yeah.
Get
Well,
tired.
DJ Dallas, who is usually catching a lot of those screen passes, ends up on the injury report, right? Do you have more on that, or what do you think? I mean, we got him, Neal. Those guys are kind of the
Yeah.
big questions going into the game.
Yeah. Well, it's big if we loaded up with K9, 29 rushes last game, and you want to keep his legs fresh for this run. So, but I would not be surprised if we see 20 or more carries for him again, just to keep the balance, like I've been saying. DJ, they said it was like a knee quadricep. We'll see how he responds, but I think if it was a game, he'd be full participant in practice is what I read. So optimistic he'll make it. And the big one is Ryan Neal coming back because he's a playmaker for us. He's a tempo setter with the hard hits and just being active and all over the field. So I think it was good news to see that he was actually limited participant.
Mm-hmm. What about the game being on Saturday? I mean, the NFL business and what they like, how they scheduled that aside. What about just the preparation for the team not playing on their normal Sunday?
Well, when I was coaching for Pete, short weeks, like a Thursday game, or if we had a Monday night and then we went straight to a Sunday early game or something like that. What I loved about it was the way the schedule changed was we went to more walkthrough. And I feel like, sometimes with Pete, we were just so like, go full speed that this actually gives the guys, time to really digest the information that they're having to put into action. And, I think it slows the game down for them. And we've seen better outcomes in terms of being on our assignment game to game when we have short weeks. So I'm excited. I think this works in our favor.
Yeah. And I like that the game is in Santa Clara too, because the 12s travel. We know that.
Yeah.
Let's get loud down there. Let's not forget what happened in our house the last time the Niners were there, and too many 12s were selling their seats.
That was wild.
So, let's flip the script and do that to them this weekend in Santa Clara. If you're headed down, jump on a Delta flight. That's what we'd recommend.
Always.
All these problems with all these airlines these days with cancellations and all delays and things like that. Have you heard Delta mentioned in any of that?
Nope.
Absolutely not.
Not once.
No. Jump on a Delta flight, everybody. Shout out to them for always taking care of us. And if you need to get down to Santa Clara, Delta is how to do it. Delta.com. It's dude. I'm excited though. I'm just telling you.
You gotta be if you're a Seahawks fan.
I am. It's going to be down and dirty. And it's going to be against our hated rival, and it's going to be fun to knock them out of the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, just it's seriously, man. Like like 2010, my last year here. We didn't have a great record. We pretty much limped into the playoffs with a lot of injuries and everything, and against the defending champs, the Saints, no one gave us a chance, and then we had. So hopefully we get some memorable moments like Beastquake from this game.
Well, what about also, and you and I were talking kind of off mic in the last couple of days about just experience in general. Like we talk about all the time, the young talent on this team. This is almost like going to a bowl game for a college team, isn't it? I mean, just the just being in the playoffs is such a big deal for this team, especially.
There's nothing, and I mean nothing like playoff football. And this is why it's the greatest sport. We don't have a fucking 7-game series to figure out, make adjustments. We have to do it in 60 minutes or overtime, which what it took last game. And so, man, I just remember me, Leroy, man, we get giddy talking about playoffs just because the atmosphere, man. You're going into a place where they hate you, and it's you against the world, you and your boys against the world. And yeah, man, I love the playoffs. There's nothing like it.
What was your first playoff game?
My first one was Washington at home.
Oh,
and they beat us. So they beat us in Washington. We missed a field goal in overtime. They came down, kicked a field goal. And so we were in the divisional round because we locked up the number 1 seed, which the number 1 seed is so important, especially these days, because back then, 1 and 2 got the first round bye. But now with the added playoff team, 2 through 7, they all play, and 1 is the only one that gets the bye. So it's exciting, man. That the place was electric. It was awesome.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't even, especially running out there at what was CenturyLink, I guess back then.
It was Quest back then.
Oh, Quest. Oh yeah. Forgive me. I'm sorry.
Get out of here. Man.
I go all the way back. Yeah. Man, the Q back then. Yeah. Yeah, man. So let's see here. What else you got for the Niners Seahawks game? Because I also wanted to talk college football with you since we had the Natty since the last time we talked.
Yeah, and I did win some national titles. I don't know if you remember that, Brett.
No, I remember.
Me and my Trojans.
I remember that.
No, for this game, man, no one thought we would be here. I think the message, that Pete sent is like, hey, it's us against the world, even with the I don't know if he's talking about the flexing of the schedules and all that. I think he likes to keep the noise as the noise, but the chip on the shoulder, he's definitely playing that underdog role. And so it's just, this is one where we have to, I know his message when we were always in big games, it was like, look, you don't have to go outside yourself and have your best performance of your life. You have to do your job, stick to your assignment, stay in the moment, and we'll come away. We'll shock a lot of people. That's kind of what happened when we had New Orleans back at home, when no one gave us a chance. And so just do the right thing, play in and play out, and stay in the moment. I know that's the message he's giving to the guys right now.
Where does Pete leave his scooter outside the locker room before he gives those speeches? That's a new thing. And, I know Pete got knee replacement surgery a while ago, a couple of years back. And so I was surprised to see that, but he's saving his knees for the hard court or the turf, because he has a basketball hoop in the indoor facility. I don't know if you've seen that. Yeah.
But I was at the facility not long ago, a couple of weeks ago, and dropped by there and I saw the scooter, and of course it's Pete's, of course.
You see, producer Katie, did you see this?
No.
Oh, there's this video of like the guys coming in for practice and all the guys are just sort of walking in, and Gino kind of starts dancing for the camera, but then here comes Pete around the corner on like a razor scooter. It's hilarious.
Amazing.
Like he's a 9-year-old.
That's fun, Pete.
It's awesome. Oh, he's having a blast. Pete, Lofa, you could speak to this for sure. I mean, Pete has to be having a blast this season.
I think this is probably the most fun Pete's had coaching ever. And I say that because, again, no one gave us a shot. No one gave this team any chance. We lose those superstars and Bobby and Russell, two of the leaders of the last decade. And and everybody, they were picking us to pick inside the top 5, which we are, thanks to a trade. So it's just, it's special for him. I know he's embracing the moment. And I said it on an interview last night. I go, yeah, he wrote a book. It's called Win Forever. Not win sometimes, not win every now and then.
Yeah.
So it's, they believe, man. And I think that's the strongest thing any team can do, any championship caliber team. In the playoffs, it's, win and go on or win and go home, man. It's special like that. But this is definitely by far, you could tell just the way he is on the sidelines. He always has the energy, but this season definitely means something to him and John.
Well, if you want to go see this championship caliber team in action down there in Santa Clara, you want to win tickets. We got 2 seats for this game. So let us know that you want the tickets. Email us at seahawkspod@gmail.com. Just tell producer Katie, hey, I want to go to the game, or, well, I don't know, whatever you could write her a sob story if you want. You could write her a really feel good story. You don't have to.
It's randomized.
It could be like 4 words. I want to go.
Yep.
That's about it.
I think next time we got to have a contest, write us about your fandom,
No, because then I have to pick
she's
it.
got to read it.
Nervous breakdown.
That's like,
I'll read it. I will read it. I will do the hard work.
If you want to go to the
Beautiful
game,
stories out there.
Yeah.
The Seahawks fans are beautiful.
let us know. It's what is it? Seahawkspod at gmail.com. Sorry, geez. Too many.
Or if you're just a
podcasts
good
about-
luck charm like Brett's kid and Katie,
That's true.
maybe you show us the ticket stubs of all the wins and we will, generously pick you at random.
Yeah. Do you want to be our rabbit's foot?
Yeah.
Seahawkspod at gmail.com. Everybody, let us know. We'll draw a name out. And thank you to epicseats.com for supplying the seats to that. If you guys want to get seats to this game or anything else, go to epicseats.com. You tell them that we sent you, mention Take 12, and you get $12 per ticket when you're selling, or an extra 12% off when you're buying if you spend $100. It's epicseats.com. So from one championship to another, though, Lofa, the college championship, the college football championship game was played on Monday. Was that a game? Did they really line that thing up? Or
Oh man,
one team showed up.
Looked like SC Oklahoma 04.
Woof.
maybe a little worse, but
what a flex.
What a flex.
Humble brag.
I told you guys what would happen. I wasn't surprised. I picked TCU to beat Michigan because if you give a team 2 weeks to prepare, they should be ready for anything and everything, and they were. And they fought, a hard battle, gutsy performance by the Horned Frogs. But when you turn around and only give 7 days to prepare for what is arguably an NFL team, they had 5 stars coming off the bench, and that team is loaded, and it showed. And so I wasn't surprised that, it was a blowout. I actually predicted a blowout, and it was ugly, man.
Well, what is it? Does this change anything in your mind and how we should be thinking about the college football championship? And does it alter anything with the playoff? And, they're going to let more teams in. So there could be a 12 that sneaks into the game someday. And does that change anything for you?
No, not really. They still won the first round, and there's something to be said for that. But I think the sooner we can get to 12, I don't know when it's coming. I don't know if it's 25 or 27, what year they have pegged for it, but the sooner we can get to 12, the better, because, LSU or, even a Tennessee with their backup quarterback would have put up a better fight than what we saw. But, I like seeing these like Boise State's, TCUs that, the underdogs, man.
Yeah.
And so they do deserve a seat at the table. They went undefeated into that game, had a lot of comeback victories. So I was expecting a little more of a fight in the second half. But some of those backups for Georgia, that tailback 22, he looked like he was doing better than the starter. And they might have softened up that defense and worn down, but
they're deep. Speaking of win forever.
Yeah, watch out for Georgia next year.
Yeah, and the recruits coming in are probably just as highly touted as these guys are leaving. So,
their number one tight end is going to be a first rounder, and then their backup is bigger, faster, stronger. And then they had another 5-star that was a monster that came in for like the third and fourth quarter. So
and with the portal and everything now too.
So that's what gets tricky, or that's what's tough for these kids these days, is like it's really essentially free agency. And so now the portal, I think it stays open today, the 11th or the 12th, it stays open to the 15th. And so there's, when you talk about reload, guys that have proven themselves elsewhere are just going to jump to SC or Georgia or Bama. And so if you thought that Nick Saban had a stronghold on the title game and everything, it's going to get uglier, because why would you ever take a chance on a high school kid now unless he's top 10, top 5 at his position in the nation? And so the rest of those scholarships are going to go to proven veterans.
Right. You get a kid coming in who's a junior who played. Yeah, exactly.
I do love this though, because now these kids, they're going to see their full potential. They're going to go to, they're going to take their career farther, because there's kids at Division III that are going to jump to two jump to 1AA, 1AA, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me think of Pierre Garçon, who was at Division III, and you saw what he did. He has damn near NFL Hall of Fame career.
Yeah, totally.
When he was in Indy, and then also San Fran and Washington. A lot of respect for that guy, but these are the kids that fall through the cracks. I didn't get a scholarship out of high school to a major college for linebacker. I ended up taking the only one to Maine. And then I transferred, up eventually. So it's,
but you had to sit out and all that. That was the old transfer rules.
Oh, brutal. Longest year of my life, just practicing and going to school, man. We'll just practicing anyways.
Yeah. Well, okay. But I have to ask the question. Should Alabama have been in that game?
Alabama, LSU. Alabama had 2 losses by 3 points total or something like that.
So should they have been in the playoff over TCU though, ultimately? Like, having seen what we saw now, looking back retrospectively.
It's tough because TCU won their conference.
Right.
Alabama did not even go to the conference game. But yeah, so once we get to 12 teams, that all gets, that's all over. We don't have to like worry about that.
It's funny. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, yeah, because they're going to be in it. And,
yeah,
and so.
See, it's funny though, because for me, I want to go backwards. See, I like you want to go to the future, to the 12. This almost made me want to go backwards, where we'll just pick the two best, line them up against each other, and let's go. Because like this season, if you were the committee, if it was just a committee of LOFA, which two teams would you have had in the game? It wouldn't have been Georgia and TCU. It would have been Georgia and somebody else for sure, right?
First of all, that committee sounds amazing. Second of all, yeah, for sure. You want to see a more competitive game to end the season. You're absolutely right with that. But Bama would be in that game if there was 12 teams, even if they're number 12 with 2 or 3 losses. And this is where we talk about depth, right? And how stacked Georgia was. TCU just didn't have the dogs, man. I mean, there's a lot of great players on there. There's going to be several, like, a handful that go to the NFL and have great careers, much like my man David Hawthorne out of TCU. But Georgia is stacked, dude. There's going to be 30 of those guys that go to the NFL and have great careers.
Do you see some guys wearing red jerseys that you hope will be wearing blue and white and green jerseys in the future?
Yeah, that D tackle, man. I like Jalen or I like Willie from Bama. I want either one of those guys.
Yeah.
So hopefully they fall to number 5 for us.
I don't know if Jalen will still be there at 5.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
But I'll be happy with either of them.
Well, we got enough picks to maybe move up a couple of picks. You never know.
We're not, John is not the guy that moves up. If someone falls to him, he's happy with it. But if our guy's not there at 5, we're moving back because there's just too much to give up these days, and I think, as much as it's bothered, Seahawk fans to watch the draft all the way until the 28th pick and then watch us trade to the second round and the third, it's worked, man. And so,
look at the results. I mean, even this season,
yeah.
How about all the Seahawk fans that wanted Pete Carroll fired? I was not one of those. Whatever I was pre this season, just on the team and how I thought we'd do, I've never been a Pete should go. I mean, look at what he's done this season.
Well, I said, I watched them, John and Pete, build this franchise into a powerhouse, and so I thought, and I even said in one of our previous episodes, it probably won't take as long. And now I did not know that we already had our quarterback. And I firmly believe in Geno as the future, the short-term future. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I would be surprised if we go quarterback. I'd be scared if we go quarterback. And as me and you have talked about with the situation in Green Bay, because they've got some considering in terms of who's going to lead the team going forward.
Yeah, no, totally. A lot to be determined there. To be determined this weekend is the game. Back to our game for the end of the show here, because we got to do our score predictions. Brought to you by Simply Seattle, our friends over there. Go to shop.simplyseattle.com. Use our promo code TAKE12 for 12% off of anything at Simply Seattle. You guys can enter the score prediction challenge on our social media. It's at Take12Pod on Twitter or Instagram. Predict the score. All of whoever gets the closest, if there's multiple of that, we put it in a hat, we pull one out. If you nail it and multiple people nail it, we put all those names in a hat, pull one out. You get 50 if you nail it, 25 if you get close. Lofa, what do you think?
Well, I'm going Hawks. I'm going Hawks.
Yeah.
So, but this defense we're facing is a monster. So I do not see a high scoring affair. We haven't put up many points over the last month, or so. So it's going to be a low scoring affair. I got Seahawks 20, and I got the Niners 16.
Ooh.
I was going to go 17, but you know what? We like funky numbers here.
We do like funky numbers. I had this written down before you said it, and so I'm just going to keep going with it. Seahawks 19, Santa Clara 18.
Hey, I'm telling you, it's going to be low scoring. We have to convert in the red zone, man. Field goals will not beat this team.
And that means now that it will be a high scoring game since we both predicted low scoring game.
That's usually the case.
Yeah. Enjoy the 42-40 shootout.
I would love that.
It'd be entertaining on a Saturday. That's for sure.
I mean, Gino's going off.
Oh, you guys enjoy the game out there, everybody. We didn't think we'd be here. Like Lofa said, house money. I mean, just let's all sit back, relax, and just cheer as hard as we can for our team. And hopefully they'll come out with a W, especially if you're in the building there. I want to hear some Seahawks on TV. Let's go. Come on. Now. Are you going down to the game?
No, I think there's a watch party up here somewhere.
Ooh.
Yeah, talk to Jeff. Shout out to Jeff Richards and Seahawks, who we hung out with over at Treehouse for Kids. Them and Starbucks. Shout out to Starbucks.
That's right.
Them and the Seahawks both got together and donated a generous check because Katie had me serving lattes in Germany. Gingerbread lattes was the drink of choice. So I'm adding barista to my resume.
The Treehouse store there in Washington. We all went in and put in a shift, and what an operation Treehouse has going on over there. I mean, it's just incredible. It's one of those things that reminded me that, like, you know, you can donate to a charity, you can jump on a GoFundMe, and all that stuff is great. But when you go in person and you see the actual people there on the ground who are working and the volunteers coming in and out and the whole operation at large, it really just like even more reinforces why you get involved with these things to begin with. And so really happy that I got to see that. I know, Katie, you were happy you got to see it. And Lofa, I mean, that's like you live there basically now. You're there all the time.
It's been a good time, man.
Yeah. What a great organization they are. Yeah. And shout out to Starbucks.
Thank you, Starbucks. Thank you, Delta. Thank you, Seahawks.
And the Seahawks.
Great
absolutely.
Trip.
Yeah.
Wait, before we get out of here.
Yeah.
You were asking last time you said we were going to talk about Green Bay and what they do at quarterback.
Oh. In their off season, you mean?
Well, because you said something about
their off season has started already.
Oh, wow. No, you were saying, remember he couldn't give up his jersey. You were saying something you want to talk about.
Right. Oh, well. Wait, was that on the air or off the air?
No, that was on the air. I don't know, but
I don't remember either.
Thank you, Lofa, for remembering.
It was
I did my homework.
You did your homework. The theme song's almost over, but
we'll start it again.
Talk about it next week. You want to talk about it next week?
No, I want to talk about it right now.
Well, Rodgers was walking off the field and he said, because you know how guys exchange jerseys, and they caught him on microphone saying, "No, I'm going to keep this one," which a lot of people were speculating means that might be his last Packers jersey.
Interesting.
So, you know, did you have thoughts about that?
I do. We'll visit him next week on the show.
He's got jokes. All right, then. Hands in the middle. Let's break it down. Come on. We got a big game this weekend, sir. Come on, our captain. Take us through this.
Hey, fucking playoffs, boys. You let it all hang out, man. It's win or go home. Fucking our hated arch rival, the Niners. We're going down to Santa Clara. We're coming business trip. We're going down. Pack your bags. Pack the special teams. Pack the defense. Get some turnovers and score some touchdowns. Hawks on 3. 1, 2, 3. Hawks.